Hello! Welcome back to this Ring of Red series. Last time I cut myself off when I was talking about the properties of defense missions in these games. I see it more often in real time than turn-based, but still. The developers of these games seem to love creating defensive missions and then saying, oh, but if you want the really cool stuff, you have to attack. Like, sure, the enemy has all this stuff that you're supposed to be challenged just by staying in one place and putting all your concentration in defending, but if you're a real gamer, you'll head out there. Perhaps I let my opinions show a little bit too much. So we're at the point where the health boosts applied to the enemy have reached the point. Wow, that was under hyper morale too. Anyway, finishing off an enemy is less easy now than it was a few missions ago. I believe I mentioned that, at least in the early missions, you didn't really need anything special to finish off an enemy that had no squads in one turn. Now it takes a bit more dedication, even for the light AFWs. And that was at long range, too. One health left. Oh well. In general, I don't have to worry too much about my finisher squads taking too much damage. Unless they happen to have ink trap, in which case I don't even know. Things are just bad in that case. As much as I'd like to remove that ink trap squad, starting a battle out at long range versus a four-leg, well, it's too much risk for me. Especially since there's an empty space in front of Jun and someone else can attack. This is the sort of situation where dodge action is great. Especially because that four-leg is using shrapnel instead of, say, APC or APCR. I think light AFWs have the best backwards movement of any type. Anti-AFWs move forward really fast, but they pretty much can't move backwards, or they barely move backwards. Yep, there it is. Well, the others have already used their turns, so I think it's reasonable to start fighting their squads. Especially if I can... Well, actually, both of them are really dangerous, because Ink Trap and Incendiary, and neither of them are loaded, so I actually don't know why the AI did that. They probably felt that it's better to have some infantry on the ground. They do survive a lot better than mechanics, I gotta say. But when only one is moved forward, I'm not going to take much damage from their shots if my squads aren't forward. I think they deal something like 8 damage from their rifles. And since my own squads are kind of fragile, I want to take a few shots just like this, so that when I do move my troops forward, I can clean them up more easily. Another reason I'm playing fairly free with my maximum attacks right now is that I don't expect Jun to do that much fighting after this initial rush across the bridge. Now would be an excellent time to move my squad with rapid fire forward. You hear that? Well, I've said this before, of course, but examining your own play is very helpful. Oh, I think I get what I was doing. At that point, I just decided I didn't want to risk taking any anti-squad shots at all, because who knows what could happen. So that means I'm able to remove their incendiary, but not their ink shrap. And this strategy that they're using, they sort of exploit the AI such that the AI puts its medics on the ground first, and when they take a little damage but they don't die, well, the enemy likes to put damaged squads in crew. So at that point, it's very hard to get rid of the ink shrap. So most of the damage I took was from small arms fire there, and it's sometimes a tough call when the enemy has some nasty anti-soldier skills. By the way, if I ever get ink trap on any medic squads, I'm going to make special note of it, because that is a ridiculous combination that would make medics viable, I guess, if they had really nasty shells like that. And now it's kind of a difficult decision, because I need to start moving up soon if I'm going to get that special objective for the green squad. On the other hand, Ryoko is on very good terrain, and she isn't really built for finishing off enemies. And she's going to take some shield damage if I try something like this. But it's too late to switch it now. Also, I'm sure you've already noticed, one of the drawbacks of doing voice commentary significantly after the fact is that I start to forget what exactly I was thinking at the time of playing. I can tell you right now that my plan is to sort of soften the enemy up a bit and then use Rapid Punch like I did when she was using dedicated anti-AFW squads. And thinking about it now, it might not be an awful idea to give her a mechanic instead of supply. She'll get fewer turns, but she'll be a lot better at finishing off AFWs if that's the case. And you're gonna see a Well, it's a problem, you see. Unlike mechanics, supply grenades do push the enemy back, and I didn't realize it, but supply seems to fire pretty frequently. I was thinking, okay, well, so it'll take a couple of hits, but it's no problem. Actually, it did turn out not to be a problem, but at the time I was thinking, whoa, they're attacking again? I thought those rifle grenades took forever to reload. I also never get tired of watching Rapid Punch. One of the videos that I saw had a few short gameplay clips as an introduction before the video, and Rapid Punch was prominently featured, which I think was an excellent idea. Now, I'm going to leave a few of the details in suspense for later videos, but the biggest part of my plan is to move Ippei forward on point and have Ayana follow closely. And since both of those AFWs are on more or less the other side of the map, there's a bit of time constraint. Now, for this battle, I felt like there isn't much reason for me to really duke it out. I can't possibly reduce their AFW into kill range from full, and I would take a lot of damage in return. So, but close combat, just the normal kind, is very good for this kind of situation. And it's an example of the problem I described way earlier. Fortunately, medium enemy AFWs usually don't try to close in on lights. It's more likely that they'll try to back up to medium. There are a couple of exceptions, for example, if the pilot has a special close combat skill, but that's pretty rare. Alright, Kinsado is at a bit of an awkward spot because I obviously don't want to pull all of those enemies over, but he should probably be on point to strip at least one or two AFW's squads if I can manage it. The downside, their frontmost AFW is an anti, which is kind of hard to keep out of punching range. So this is one of the things I like about the formation right here, is that Weizsäcker can move in and start tackling anything that's had its troops removed. Unfortunately, that's not a lot of enemies at this point, because Jun has had some trouble. So it's a bit of a tough call. I decided to go with this because they can't actually punish my ground troops very much, except with that infantry that's almost dead already. I was relieved when I saw that they moved only one squad forward, because that means that they're also going to take time to move the other squad forward, which will hold that AFW in place for longer. And we definitely want anti-AFWs to not move. Ooh, getting some good luck with the shots this time. Why did I tell Weizsäcker to move forward? Whatever. Also, they're being fairly tricky, which is... Obviously, they can do a lot more damage moving back and then forward with rapid fires than they would keeping their infantry forward to get torn up by anti-soldier shots from me. I pulled my soldiers back in case I wasn't able to shoot them before rapid fire came out. Well, shoot the enemy squad, I mean. And, well, actually that was also kind of greed, because right after that I can quick fire and end the battle completely. So, well, what can I say? Also, you might have noticed that my recon squad did a ton of damage to their supply. Like, they weren't even using any skills, but they still almost wiped them out in one battle. So there's a lot to be said about the just normal attacks of squads if they're left unopposed. Now, one of the nice things about Jun's machine being able to move really far is that I get situations like this, where I can move through a whole bunch of woods or mountain tiles to a base, and then I can just move back forward whenever I'm ready. However, I decided that I needed him here for more than I needed him to have extra base recap. No, wait. Past me, what are you doing? Okay, yeah. Come on. There we go. That's what I thought I was doing. Jun, you are worrying about the wrong things. I don't quite understand the implication of the first sentence. I feel like that conversation lost a bit in the translation. Alright, so, a big part of that decision, if I remember correctly, is that I didn't want to take the extra delay from moving and then recovery. Now, Ippei is in a good spot to finish off these enemies, or this particular enemy, so I don't really see a reason not to go with it. He seems a little overleveled right now, but his design is to stop encounters early most of the time, which kind of makes it tough for him to actually destroy AFWs. So a situation like this is definitely something I should not ignore. Not only are they stripped, stripped of squads, they've already taken some damage, so I should be able to finish them off fairly quickly. Only problem is I am going to take some damage. My hope this time is that they're going to fire at my soldiers. And the reason for that is when he's doing his main job, he's never going to put his soldiers forward. And he's going to need full health for what I have in mind here. I think he has something like 5 health worth of shield left, so the next single attack is going to deal almost no damage to him, but after that, there will be trouble. Also, here's where the AFW stopping power of mechanics comes in handy. Also, if they hit an AFW that's in the middle of setting up to fire, it resets the animation and causes a lot of delay. So Ippei, unfortunately, doesn't have any special punching skills to increase his damage. However, his normal punches are plenty strong. And I don't even care so much that he doesn't have a special punching attack, because most of his maximum attacks are going to be used on something else. If you've played this game yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about already. And if not, you're in for a treat, is all I can say. So, these guys are using APCR shells, which is hilarious on an anti-AFW. I mean, yes, it's a damage multiplier that it covers for their weaknesses a bit, but their damage at long range is so awful that it barely even matters. I would be much more scared if they were using heat shells. I know I should technically speed up this animation because it's played plenty of times before, but the effect it has on a battle is so huge that I just want to let it play out. So the effect the flash shot has when you've already started aiming is that it, aside from giving you an accuracy decrease right away, ouch, it also slows down the rate that you improve by aiming. So if you're hit by flash during all that, it's probably best... Ouch, they were trying to retreat, but look what happened. Anyway, it's best to just fire off the shot and then wait for the next one. Not firing the APC-AR? Okay. And after killing off those squads, he runs off like a true troll. Wow, you moved from a bridge to a river so that you would start the battle at medium. Now, I've said before that the actions of the enemy baffle me forever. We've seen them already move in such a way that they sacrifice their range advantage in order to, I don't know, I'm just sorry. I'm just so stunned by a move like that that I don't even know what to say. Now, I definitely don't want to get both of my squads caught by an ink shrap. I think this is a good place to use dodge action because I'm already kinda damaged and there are more enemies that could attack. But I guess it wasn't needed. Oh, one of the really nice things about Jun's machine gun attack is that he doesn't require much of a setup animation. Because of this, I think he might actually be able to fire more frequently than Cansado. Also, well... Jun can shoot at AFWs, okay. Not great, but okay. Now, I waited to press the button for that because if I set up, it might interrupt the animation of my soldiers shooting them. And now would be an excellent time for... Oh! This answered a question that I had before about whether it was possible to hit enemy parts like the weapon or legs while they still had a shield. For a while I thought it wasn't possible because Ryoko blocked Kaiho's aim weapon before. But now I know better. And that broken weapon is especially nice because it happened on their turn, which means that they won't have time to repair it in time for my counterattack, which is right now, actually. Or is it? Okay, something really weird happened here, and I didn't figure it out for a while. But so, even without any scouts, 4-leg AFW can attack from 2 squares away. However, watch what happens here. As soon as I decide what I'm gonna do, that is. I mean, what else am I gonna do with Diana? She only attacks from 2 squares away, She can't attack past Ippei and Cansado. Anyway, the short of it is, she should be able to attack from that road to the left and finish off that medium AFW. However, she can't. And the reason for that is, technically, both of those tiles are river tiles. Even though there's just a little bit of river flowing through it. Anyway, she cannot attack over river tiles. Even though it's supposed to represent an artillery attack, which should, well, be an extremely good idea over obstacles like that. And we'll resolve how I handle this next time. Later.